The engine mods have actually done really well. The DNA air filter, it's not too much air. It doesn't kill the download performance. It really actually complements the bike, and I'm really. Hey guys, it's Alan, the Fireman 1028, and this morning I'm back with our 2025 KTM 390 Enduro R. We're back down at Enoree State Park. I say we, I mean me. I'm the only person here. It's early on a Sunday morning. The sun just came up. Wanted to come get this ride in before we got to get back for church. So what we're going to discuss today, and then let me show you, is so if you followed what we've been doing. If you followed what we've been doing with the Coober ECU, or the Coober LM device, the Coober cat delete right there, and then we just recently installed the DNA. You see it right there, the DNA Stage 2 air filter, which the Stage 2 from DNA. There's a K&N style filter inside the housing, and then the filter cover housing is actually replaced by another filter. Okay, so what we're doing today with this is we're going to take the bike out on the trails. We did a road ride, and I'll link that video right up here somewhere, where we actually did the first ride with that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take it back out on the trails. We're going to do some good trails, and like I said, we're by ourselves. There's nobody in front of us, nobody behind us. We're going to go ride, and we're going to go ride this thing. We're going to put it through its paces, and we're going to see how it actually performs on the trails. Now, they didn't get much rain out here. We got a bunch up in Charlotte, but they didn't get much rain here. My biggest concern is this filter is exposed. You see, there's the filter right there. It literally just sits right behind this panel right here. We did notice that the filter was very loud on the test ride, so let me see how it sounds on the trails and see if it actually kind of performs and really gives us any performance, or if it's just noise. I have been talking with a company that makes filter covers, like these, kind of water-resistant filter covers, and actually I'm sending them, tomorrow, Monday, I'm sending them the Stage 2 filter from DNA, and they are going to fabricate a filter cover with grommets that we can actually put on top of that to allow all the airflow through, but not let water and mud get into and contaminate the filter. So that's a future video that's to come, but for right now, let's hop on the bike and let's go for a ride. All right, guys, so let's throw on our gloves. We're going to do Trail A first. We're going to kind of take it easy. Trying to get a little bit of Insta360 footage, which never, ever seems to work out like it's supposed to. Nope, we're still in street mode. Let's change that before we do anything. Street mode, off-road mode, engaged. There we go. Oh, it's immediately noticeable because of the damn throttle response. All right, so Trail A, we're going to take it nice and easy. Just kind of get warmed up. But again, we're going to push it this morning. We only got a couple hours. So we're going to, like I said, the goal for today is to figure out how the package. The package that we have currently, how the package that we have now, between the Coober LM device, the Coober DeCat, and the Stage 2 filter from DNA, how do they, they all work well individually. How do they work together? And that's what we're going to try to figure out with this morning's ride. Is to see how they gel, to see if really to see if the sound that the DNA filter makes, to see if it's worth the if the like I said, what we're wanting to accomplish this morning is to see if the items that we have done to the bike, if they all gel together And do they make the bike better? That's the ultimate question. Is everything that we're doing, you can spend money on anything, is it making the ride better? And that's what we're going to try to answer today before church. And air filter is definitely a lot louder. All right, let's get back on the bike. Had to put our Insta360 camera away because it's nothing but problems always. So what I was saying is that like I said, this 390 platform, it's made by Bajaj in India. It was made for KTM, but now Bajaj is now the majority stakeholder of KTM. So now they're kind of producing them for themselves. So, which I was afraid was going to happen. KTM just was, you know, rather ambitious with their expansion plans. All right, Trail C or Blue or whatever the hell it is now. First one on the trails, you're always going to catch the spiders. Always going to catch the spiders. If we got time, we're going to ride them all. Do the whole loop. But, so like I said, so in 2025, they revised the whole model line. And the previous 390, which was built off of the Duke platform, scratch my nose, they completely redesigned the whole platform and gave the 390 Enduro and the 390 Adventure its own frame, which really corrected a lot of the issues that were inherent with the 390 Adventure, mainly the seating position, peg location, things that were not easily changed within a frame, an existing frame layout. Whew. So they gave it its own. They gave it its own platform. So the previous model suffered from pretty bad fueling, which came from numerous things, but mainly emissions to have the engine, which is it's a pretty high strung single cylinder, 390 single cylinder. To have it pass emissions, so it had to be pretty lean from the factory. And again, it's one of those where you can either have it lean and fix it yourself, or not get it at all. And it's been a pretty common. Oh, that hurt. A pretty common thing with the 390s. So, Coober actually has a standalone ECU for this model, for the previous model, and they've actually only developed an LM device, or a lambda sensor device for the 25. So have been previous history with Coober. They seemed like a natural company to reach out to with this new 2025 when we saw that it had the same, if actually not worse, fueling conditions as the previous model. And you know, they already had a device on the market because this engine was already developed. I mean, was already introduced last year in the Duke 390 and in the RC 390. So this is not a brand new engine, brand new frame, brand new model, but not a brand new engine. And so they already had a device ready to go. Just had to do some testing, and they may have done some adjustments. I don't know. They haven't shared that with me. So we went ahead and pulled the trigger on the Coober DeCat and the Coober LM device. And you can go back and find my previous videos where we installed and tested the LM device as well as the DeCat. And individually, they performed well, and together they performed really well. It didn't quite solve our issues with the stalling. The fueling was a lot better, but it didn't quite solve our stalling issue. That's probably the first person on the trail, whether you're running or on a motorcycle, you catch all the spider webs. Oh, I hate spider webs. We got an orb spider at our house right now that's the size of my hand. And my wife, who was kind of freaked out by him, now has adopted her. There's one right there. Named her Charlotte. So we look at Charlotte's web every day. So, like I said, we still had an issue with fueling and stalling. So I did some research on the air filter and found that DNA, actually found it through one of the forum members, that DNA already made a filter kit. And DNA they're known for their stage 2 kits. Stage 2 is where you get I call it a K&N style. Everybody knows what a K&N filter is. You get a K&N style filter to replace a stock paper filter, which was already dirty after 300 or 400 miles. And but then their stage 2 includes their stage 2 is a filter that actually replaces the air filter cover. Replaces the air filter cover and makes a direct path for the air to come in versus having to go through the snorkel. Oh, well, that hurt. How'd the new handguards do? Well, they did well. Woo! Holy shit. That was unexpected. Well, all right then. Let's get that up. How'd the handguard do? Pretty good. All right, back on. Whew. Oh, that's a pretty good crash. Where's my shifter? Oh, KTM gives us. folding shift lever from the factory. Thank you, KTM. Oh. All right, let's take a minute to gather ourselves after that issue. Honestly, that was my fault. That was my fault more than anything else. Oh, hope the crash comes out well on video. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that's part of riding. That's why you get good handguards. That handguard, that Enoree right there on the left, took every bit of that. Didn't even phase it. Hell yeah. Thank you, Enoree. So, what was I saying? Oh, that was pretty good down. The stage 2, we're talking about stage 2 filters. The stage 2 filter, like I said, replaces the airbox lid and really provides a direct path of airflow into the intake. And boy, done hard. So I heard, various things. I heard from Aaron at Coober USA when I told him what the plan was, and he said, we haven't tried it, but it's worth a try. So, but then somebody posted on the Facebook page that they said that no, they reached out to Coober Europe, I guess, and Coober Europe said no, it's actually going to make the condition worse. So, I'd already ordered the parts, so it's one of those where, I'm trying it no matter what. And so like I said, I got an install video, which is, it's about as simple as can be. If you know your right and left, you can install that. But my initial ride was kind of incomplete. How about that? It was kind of incomplete. I wasn't satisfied with the results of what I found out. It felt better on the highway. Because obviously you got a lot more air coming in, but I wasn't really sure down low, and that's why I wanted to get this ride in today to see how it actually did in what I call real world conditions. Because hell, most people, this is how you're gonna be riding this bike, is riding on the interstate, riding to work, and then maybe take it on a trail on Sunday. So I probably bruised the shit out of my leg. So that's why I want to get out here, do this trail, see for myself. Hey, I can see now, and see for myself. And I've kind of been, I'm not going to say leading the charge, but been one of the pioneers. Not a good word either, but kind of one of the first ones to really kind of put this bike to its paces, at least here in the U.S. And somebody that's not a professional rider. I'm just a guy. I'm a husband, father, business owner, councilman, and so it's one of those where I'm just a guy, and but I also feel like I'm also the kind of the target demographic for a bike like this and for a platform like this, because again, if you're a professional rider, if you're my buddy Keith Mitchell, who's he races enduro on a professional series, this and that, he's been riding his whole life. A $5,500 quote-unquote enduro bike, you're not in the market for that. You're going after a you know, a 350 or a 500 EXC, 5 days, something like that, this is not the bike that you're going after. All right, there's the end of C. Let's look at our time. Actually, let's hop off the bike. Let's hop off our bike and let's look at the see how our crash went. Oh, yeah. So we went down pretty good. Yeah, it's the second time that folding lever has really come into benefited us. We had one time before. Well, Sully did it last weekend, and that was my fault. That was 100% my fault. Let's look at that crash guard, or that hand guard. Yeah, let's keep on riding. It's only what? It's 8:30. So check our camera placement. Camera's good. Oh, now that was also a second gear takeoff without enough throttle. So. Again, this is not the bike. You know, you're not in the market for this bike if you're a professional rider or someone who can honestly tell the difference in 5 pounds or 10 pounds or a horsepower or two. The person buying this bike wants a good platform that'll give them, you know, they can mod. I mean, if a bike came out that was perfect, I don't know who would buy it. Because like I said, once you get past the initial, it's like I want to mod this thing. I want to customize this thing to my abilities, and you kind of lose that if you got a perfect bike. So that's the way I look at it. And, you know, people in the comments like, if you got to buy a bike and mod it, have to do it's one thing. Doing it because you want to is a whole different thing. Now you could have rode this bike. I could have rode this bike perfectly stock and not had a bit of issue, and just, you know, deal with a little bit of you know, lean conditions, but not the end of the world. Let's take the old E trail. I haven't been on this one in a while. This is a pretty technical little trail. So that was my idea, was to do that, and again, a perfect bike. There's nothing to do to it, you know. And what's the fun in that? So I like something that's got a couple flaws to it. You know, even the $15,000 real enduro bikes, people still spend a bunch of money on those things to make them fit them, you know. So I don't think it's any different. Actually, I think it's even smarter to buy a cheaper bike and put a little bit of money into it, versus buying an expensive bike and having to put even more money into it. So that's how I look at it. So again, this is not a $15,000 bike. This bike is heavy. It weighs 364 pounds. I mean, heavy for what it is. But I mean, you saw what just a minute ago when I dropped the damn thing. That you know, there's not a bit of problem picking it up. And I even picked it up wrong too. So not a bit of problem picking it up. And people who don't understand motorcycles and specifically don't understand KTM would get confused by their naming and their numbering system. A 390 must be better than a 250, and must be better than a 300, and it's just right below a 500. That's not the case at all. You know, KTM's their 300 bikes are, you know, these are really high, you know, these are race bikes. Or, you know, higher performance bikes. This engine right here, this is a commuter motor. It really is. This is a commuter motor, and the suspension's not what you'll get on one of those bikes either. But you're also paying half, if not less than that, on those bikes. So it's just one of those. It's hard to, you know, it's hard to explain to folks who don't really understand motorcycles or who just want to be a troll. But like Honda, I mean, Honda makes two dirt bikes. They make the CRF 300, and it's the L, which is a dual sport, and then they make the Rally, which is again same engine, a little bit better ergos, and then they have the CRF 450L, the 300. Again, it's a road bike, it's a road engine. And the 450 is, and it's got long maintenance intervals. The 450, which, you know, buddy Bryce, he's got one. It's a high maintenance engine. I mean, you're checking valves all the time. You're changing the oil every like 500 miles, something like that. Those are a whole different beast. And that's what KTM makes with their their 300s, their 350s, and their 500s. This is not that. The manual says you can go 6,000 miles. There's no way in hell I would go 6,000 miles. Oil is cheap, so are their filters. So this thing won't see more than a couple thousand miles of oil changes. And oh shit, that's rutted. Good Lord, that's a big rut. That's neutral. Oh, good Lord. There's 2 downs. Damn it. Oh, shit. That one hurt a little bit. Didn't see that one coming. Oh, shit. Handguard. Let's say about a lightweight bike. Look at that. Pick it right up. And she's doing all right. Crash it. Get back on, keep going. Oh, that one. I didn't see that one coming. Handguard for the win. Again. Oh. I need to get my composure. Again. I think I might have bent my handlebars on that one. We'll get out of this trail and stop and take a look at it. We came out here to test the engine performance, not the handguard performance. But so far, the handguard is the star of the show. I'm glad I wore all my armor. Yeah, I might have bent the handlebars on that one, which was on my list to replace anyway. But not not just yet. I was gonna do it because I wanted to, not because I had to. Now, I want you to see, I'm in second gear, and I'm really lugging the bike. I mean, I'm lugging the bike up these hills, and you know what it was not doing? It's not stalling out, and it's got plenty of response. This trail doesn't get the same the same level of attention that the other trails do. So this one's, I expected this one to be a little gnarlier. Don't do that. But wasn't quite sure what to expect. Not sure how much rain they got last night. I'll stay out of that. Oops. That was a second gear takeoff. Now again, I think once you... I'm getting ahead of myself there. I think I bent the handlebars. I didn't come to, the plan wasn't to test out the handguards. The plan was to test out the performance mods. So, all right, we're back out of E, wherever the hell you want to call it now. That's a good crash. Let's pull over right here for a minute. catch my breath. That's 2 downs on the left side of the bike. Oh, all right. I can't tell if I bent the peg or not, but that folding shift lever has really come in handy. Take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so again, we came out to test the engine mods, not the handguards, and those handguards have been flawless. Look at that. Those things already pay for themselves. That's awesome. Spider webs all over the bike. More scratches. Hell yeah, that's what we're coming here to do. But like I said, we really came to test let's look at that air filter. A little bit of mud on that air filter. So we came out here to test the engine mods, not the crash protection, which we need more of. All right, so we're going to go back. We'll do A-Trail one more time, but then we're going to call it a day. I think 2 crashes is enough. So, even though I hadn't really talked about it, I think it's been pretty obvious. The engine mods have actually done really well. The DNA air filter, it's not too much air. It doesn't kill the down low performance. It really actually complements the bike, and I was going to bring the filter, the stock filter, and do a back-to-back performance, but I was like, you know what? No, I've already done that. Now let's do a real check, and that's what we're doing here. And hell, I think it's done great. I really do. All right, let's see how it does on these whoops. Didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. It's like, I'm going to protest. We're not doing that. That's really the first side stand issue I've had where it shut the whole damn engine off. It's the first one I've had like that. I gotta find me a place to turn around now. I do think I bent the handlebars, so right there, I mean. So the idea to come out today was to test the DNA filter with the other mods and answer some questions. Does it hurt or does it help? Is it killing my bottom end? Is it too loud? So let's cover those. Does it help? Absolutely. I feel it 100%. I think it helps. I do not feel like this mod has hurt the bike in any way. I do feel like it has helped. Has nothing to do with me crashing. That's my lack of skill. Bottom end is fine. It's just fine. It does not hurt that bottom end whatsoever. Question number 2. Does it solve the stalling issue? No, it's still there. I don't think it's any worse. Honestly, I don't think it's any worse now than any other bike. I really don't. It sounds badass. it sounds awesome. So I don't think that's I don't think it has helped or hurt the stalling issue. I definitely think it's helped the power issue. Hadn't really got any mud in there, which laying it down twice on the left in the mud was going to be a pretty good determination of that. So I don't think that's been an issue. Is it too loud? No. I think it sounds great. It really gives it a good sound, especially when you get out on the trails. Almost a little bit of two-stroke magic, something like that. Not quite, but no issues there. So again, this test was this ride out here Sunday morning before church was to see how the DNA air filter, stage 2 filter, plays with the other two devices. Now, I may go home, pull the spark plug, and see how the spark plug looks. But I mean, how it's riding great. There's really no issue whatsoever. So this is going to wrap this up. So again, I do these. They're fun. I'm very close to getting monetized, but these things are really fun to make, and I'm really enjoying kind of interacting with people. And I think I've really found a passion for this. So if you see anything that you like, thumbs up, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. Subscriptions for me is really the ultimate compliment. I truly celebrate every time I get a new subscription to the channel. I celebrate it. It's like, yes, it's one more person that's really enjoying, and what I'm doing is resonating with somebody else. So, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Roll Tide. And remember, tomorrow needs you. Thanks, guys.